Our next speaker should not be a stranger to you. You've seen him many times. He's the president for the board of the Water and Power Commissioner. Richard Katz is a longtime public servant and state policymaker with very specific expertise in the areas of water, transportation, land use, and energy. He has an illustrious career serving in the California State Assembly, representing the East San Fernando Valley from 1980 to 1996. His bio is really long, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but he's really impressive in terms of things that he's done. But what I do want to say is that I got to see him work firsthand internationally. We were in China. This is maybe about 10, 15 years ago now, and it was a time when we were just passing Measure R. And we were working with our international investors to see how do we expedite, how do we speed up rail projects to make sure that we have this facilitation, that we can make sure that we have transportation, public transportation throughout Los Angeles, because we're still dealing with a lot of traffic issue. And to see Mr. Katz on the international stage negotiating with our partners, sharing the expertise, and to see the world look at Los Angeles in a completely different way, because they didn't even know that our public transportation system is in existence. But Mr. Katz was able to convince them this is the right location for their investment. It's quite impressive. And his work is not just with transportation, obviously with the environment, with water. He's an expert in so many different areas, and we are so delighted to have him here to share his remarks. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Richard Katz.
Stephen, thank you very much. If I was smart, I would just say thank you and sit down, because it doesn't get much better than that. And I am grateful to Stephen for the kind comments, but also for his leadership and his educating the rest of us on what he knows also well about the importance of international trade, international relationships, and moving forward and moving LA forward. Stephen has had a very impressive career and a lot of impressive days ahead of him. And again, thank you for everything you do for all of us. Appreciate that, Stephen. And also David, for having the vision. I was telling David earlier, 18 years ago and 2 weeks before this, my son was born. So I'm well aware this was his 18th birthday and our 18th birthday here. David had a vision that most of us didn't understand when he started. I'm not sure he understood when he started, but he has grown it into something really spectacular. And I'm very thrilled to see so many of you here today. You attract more and more interesting people each time and contribute in ways that it's hard to necessarily categorize or to quantify, but the act of bringing so many diverse people together, I can use the word diverse still, can't I? Yeah, okay. So many diverse people together can only accrue to our benefit. So David, thank you for the vision and for sticking with it for 18 years. And I want to, again, as Stephen said, welcome all of you to Verdexchange 18. I'm honored to be among the visionaries, innovators, and dedicated stewards of the planet. And as I said, thanking David for the vision and the courage to go forward when none of us understood it, and pursue it and grow it to the extent that he has. You know, for 2 decades, David and Verdexchange have consistently brought together our nation and our trading partners' best minds in environment, focused solutions, oriented toward collaborations that transcend the traditional and artificial boundaries that stop so many other people from moving forward. David's vision and the ability to bring us all together have pushed the boundaries and continue to push that envelope, and we are all better for it. Despite the political climate change about climate change, here under one roof are entrepreneurs, utilities manufacturers, labor leaders, policymakers, financiers, and environmentalists staying the course, prioritizing the clean energy economy, climate infrastructure and investments, and optimizing economic recovery. You are, in a sense, the first responders of the climate crisis, and rather than looking backwards, you're the first to go in to where others are afraid to go or didn't want to go or weren't sure whether they should go or not. So many of you have been the first to go into space and go into spaces that make a difference and have been able to bridge gaps and come up with solutions that are being implemented all over the world. The willingness to go into the breach and make a difference makes you unique. It makes you unique even among entrepreneurs. It makes you very unique among businesses that are more likely than not to take a safe path, though today there aren't any safe paths. If you were listening to the news on the way in this morning, there's a lot of challenges that we're going to be facing, but I also know that you're not afraid to figure out ways through the morass and how to come out on the other side in a way that will benefit all of us. That's always been one of the things I've enjoyed most about Verdexchange is the exhibits and looking at the things that I never thought of or thought possible, and yet there are people from all over the world here showing us how you can do things that no one thought was possible. And frankly, if we're going to continue to move forward in this ever more difficult world, we're going to need those solutions. I'm very proud of the fact, and I appreciate the mayor appointing me to chair the DWP Oversight Commission. Mia Lair, one of my commissioners, is here also, and have appreciated getting to know Mia and getting to work with Mia. LADWP is a unique organization. It's 11,500 people, men and women who day in and day out respond in unprecedented ways to the challenges of being in Los Angeles. In dealing with the fires, Paradise, California, which went through a similar experience 7 years ago, smaller community, but went through it 7 years ago. It took them 2 years to rebuild their water system before they could deliver clean water to the people who live in Paradise. It took LADWP 2 months, and water in the Palisades was safe to drink again. And part of that process, and part of what's involved in making that happen, this is the part people don't think about, and I was amazed when they explained it to me. It makes sense when you hear it. Part of getting that ready was we had to individually recap or repipe 5,000 plastic pipes in the Palisades because they melted during the fire, and water was pouring out of them. 5,000 that have to be done by hand. Can't automate it, can't send someone else in. But all of that was done, and that water was the high-quality water that we always deliver in LA 2 months after the fires. It's something that we're all very proud of, but it's what they do day in and day out. The same way, power was restored to the Palisades at the same time. And properties that are there have power, people are living in them again, and as the mayor said, through the mayor's executive orders, we are expediting the rebuilding of the Palisades, and we will build back not just smarter, but stronger, and also hardened. We will learn from what took place in the Palisades. We haven't learned how to harness the wind yet as much as we should, but we will learn from what happened there, and we will make a better community as a result of it, whether it is in the Palisades or Altadena. We will come back because that's what we in Los Angeles do. I'm very proud of the fact that DWP takes pride in being sustainable. Our goals are sustainability as well as so many other things that the mayor mentioned. J.D. Powers and Associates, which ranks organizations, last year ranked DWP the most sustainable utility in the country. And as an aside, and moved us up. Thank you. That was my cousin. No, thank you. Thank you for Move LA. No, the most sustainable in the country, and we moved up 10 slots from the year before. So we're getting there. And we will set examples, and we will continue to do it. The project we have in the Intermountain Power project we have in Utah, which is being converted from coal to hydrogen, and we'll start testing later this year, is going to show the future for generating power for cities like Los Angeles. And we're very, very pleased with that and very proud to partner with Utah in making sure this happens. So, enough from me. There are people here with a lot of interesting things to say. I'm a little amazed about how David manages to find each year so many innovative people, all of whom are willing to come to Los Angeles and spend 3 days in a hotel talking about the future. We are very, very grateful for that. We're going to explore how we can ensure that infrastructure investments not only rebuild our physical landscape, but also capitalize our communities and protect our environment. These are the challenges for each person at this conference. And before David kicks me off the stage, I'm going to conclude simply by saying, well, you got to understand, there's always a risk when you give a recovering politician a live microphone. But I am not going to go through lunchtime for all of your benefit. But I will say this, as there's so many challenges today from spaces that we never thought we would be challenged in the way we're being challenged. But if I have to choose between compassion and Doge, I'm choosing compassion every single time. And I think most of Los Angeles would agree with that. So, with that, I will turn it back to our creator. Sounds actually appropriate in this case.
Thank you.
David Abel,
Thank you.
my friend.
My friend.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks. I think Stephen is going to take charge of this in a second, but I want to comment on Richard's role. We all know, and many of us have been in civic life and politics a long time, and it's easy to keep score of politicians and elected officials and appointed officials, but these are very challenging times. And taking on these responsibilities and working through them, even in the face of all these obstacles, is pretty impressive. So thank you, Richard, and thank all of you who are doing the same thing. So thank you.